And we got some major news in regards to Anthony Davis. It looks like Anthony Davis could be returning as soon as next week. So this is per Dave McMenamin. Anthony Davis is, as we speak right now, potentially a week away from returning. He's going to continue the ramp-up process and go through a couple full-fledged practices full court. And it'll be all about how his body responds the next day. But if everything continues to go the right way, he will be back playing for the Lakers next week in Crypto.com Arena and be with them for the entire road trip. Also, to validate this and back this up, Adrian Wojnarowski also backed up that same sentiment. He said, ESPN sources, Los Angeles Lakers all-star Anthony Davis continues to make pain-free progress on his right foot, and there's optimism of a return to the lineup as soon as late next week. The Lakers start a 5-game trip on January 28th against Boston. This is huge news. We could really use Anthony Davis going into that road trip and try to get back on track and right the ship. Currently, as I am recording this video, we are 2 games out of the actual 7th seed. We're only 2 games out of the 7th seed, and we're only 2.5 games out of the 6th seed as an actual playoff spot. Now, we do play the Memphis Grizzlies, which that would be kind of tough. I don't know if we could get that win. So let's say we're 3 games out of the 6th seed and 2.5 games out of a play-in spot, right? That's still not the end of the world. That's still something that could easily be made up. The Lakers in their last 10 have been 6-4 in their last 10 games. That's without Anthony Davis. They've been able to weather the storm without AD. But after the Grizzlies game, we got the Portland Trailblazers, the Clippers, the Spurs, and then that's when we go on the road trip against the Boston Celtics. And that is really where we could use Anthony Davis, right? Hopefully he comes back sometime next week. Like if he could come back for the Clippers game, that would be amazing because we could beat Portland. I really do believe we can beat Portland. I'm not saying we will. I'm saying we could beat Portland. And then against that Clippers matchup, Clippers have been struggling as of late. It'd be nice to get that game, especially against Portland and Clippers. That would give us a full game. And then the Spurs, I think we could beat. So even if worst case, if we go into just the road trip, great. But you'd like AD to get a game or 2 before that trip to kind of just get his game legs under him. So if we could get that Clipper game, that would be perfect. Because then we play the Clippers and then we play the Spurs. And then we go into that road trip. And that road trip, we play the Celtics, the Nets, the Knicks, the Pacers, and the Pelicans. All of those games outside of like maybe the Celtics, although with Anthony Davis, I think we can win that. All of those games are very winnable. Right? Like we can beat the Nets without KD. We could beat the Knicks. We could beat the Pacers. And I still believe we could beat the Pelicans. We've already beaten them once. I think we could beat them again. So if AD comes back, this could be absolutely huge for us. And then we got back-to-back road games or home games against the Thunder, who I think we can beat with Anthony Davis, and the Bucks, who we've already beaten once, that we may be able to beat again, which is on the trade deadline. So maybe we get some fresh blood in as well to kind of help turn this season around. So this is great, and I really do hope that this is something that does happen. If we could get him, say the 24th or something like that, where he's like 4, maybe 5 days away, I think that really gives us some optimism and an actual opportunity to potentially make a run here for a playoff spot. We're right there, right? And so if Anthony Davis could come back, I really think we can get to where we need to be. We've said it from day one. We go as far as Anthony Davis takes us. We need him to stay on the court. We need him to stay healthy. Now, of course, there is the concerns, if he gets hurt again, whatever, but you can't just go on that assumption, right? We have to hope and assume that Anthony Davis can come back, stay right. Is he going to miss more games? Probably. Just don't miss chunks of games, right? Don't miss 11, 12 games because we're in trouble, right? Like if he has, if we're on a back-to-back and he takes the night off, fine. I mean, ideally, I'd like him to play. If he could play every game the rest of the season, sure. But I just don't think the Lakers would even do that even if they wanted to, right? Even if AD wanted to, I think he would still sit some of those games. So he's going to sit more games. But a game here and there, just for rest and just to kind of let him get his body right, is one thing. Him missing another month of gameplay is that could be very detrimental to this Lakers team, assuming we don't make a trade. right? If we just stand pat and we are the team that we are, it could be very detrimental. Even if we make a trade, you can make an argument that it might be detrimental. But depending on what that trade is, you may be able to weather the storm if AD misses some time, at least enough to get into the playoffs, and then AD's healthy come playoff time. If we have a healthy AD come playoffs, good luck. Like, there's not a team in the West that I worry about, have concerns about, and think there's no way we can beat. I really, truly believe we can beat every team in the Western Conference Finals. Does that mean we will? Of course not. But there's not a team in the West that I look at and go, man, there's no way the Lakers are going to beat them in a 7-game series. Is it going to be tough? Yes, of course. But you got LeBron James and Anthony Davis. If Anthony Davis can be that monster we saw, arguably best player in the league, and just be dominant on both sides of the ball and be our anchor, that would be huge. But we can't run him into the ground, which is a real concern I have as well, right? Like, we got to get help still. But hopefully, Anthony Davis returning and being healthy, hopefully that will give Rob Pelinka an incentive to maybe go make a move, or Jeannie Buss in that case, because all the reports seem to be that she's the one that's kind of holding up trades. So hopefully, maybe if Anthony Davis comes back and Anthony Davis is healthy and we're off to the races and we're winning games, maybe Jeannie will go, okay, make a move, pull the trigger, let's get a deal done, right? We got Anthony Davis back. LeBron James is playing like LeBron James. You got Russell Westbrook, who's been great and just playing solid as that sixth man. Very likely should, in my opinion, should win the sixth man of the year. We got these three guys. We just need a couple pieces. Go make the Spurs deal, or go make the Pacers deal, or go make the Detroit deal, or whatever. Let's get some deal done. Let's get this team in order, and let's get them into the playoffs. Because I really believe if we can get into the playoffs, I really believe that this team can stack up against anybody. There's not a team in the league that I look at and go, man, there's no way that we can beat them. The only teams I really have concerns with is probably Milwaukee and Boston. The Celtics and the Bucks, I think, have clearly been the two best teams so far this season. And in my opinion, I think we would. I don't know how well we would match up against them currently, but you get the right piece or two, who knows? Russ, LeBron, and AD have shown that we can compete with the best of them with those three guys. I just think that in a 7-game series, you need a couple guys to kind of step up big, and you're going to need a couple pieces that can provide night in and night out outside of those three. So that's why, like, I still would like a trade, but I'm fine. Get us into the playoffs, and I think we're good, and we're right there. Now, if we could beat Memphis tonight, which I'm not saying we will, but you never know. These are those type of trap games, right? Teams on an 11-game win streak. They're on the road against a team that's just really struggling without, their best player or one of their best players, and this is a game that you should just run away with. Usually, more times than not, that team ends up losing, right? The Lakers come out, they shoot hot, they shoot the lights out because they know that they got road games coming up, want to get a win and all that stuff, and boom, they're off to the race. Like, that could very well be the case. And if that is the case and we could pull off that win, we might actually be in a really good position, especially with AD coming back. But anyway, this is great news. I am so excited. Seriously, I am pumped. This just made my day, definitely, and I'm sure it did many of you as well. So, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments section below. What do you think? You excited about this news? Think this is game-changing? Do you think, yes, now we can go on a run, go rattle off some wins, get back into the playoffs? Do you think, no, we still got to wait? Just think that we have a real opportunity here. I really do. Of course, still have concerns. There's still, question marks. Can AD stay healthy the rest of the season? Luckily, we got All-Star break coming up, so hopefully, he can get a little burn, right? Get that nice little burn in, get the All-Star break, get a little rest, and then pick up that second half of the season. That's usually when the season really starts to ramp up. You got the post-trade deadline, you got everything, you got your team in place, and yeah. Hopefully this is the thing that gets the needle moved on a trade, all of that stuff. I mean, this could really be the sort of the catalyst that really kind of turns this season around and really helps the Lakers. And I'm sure the Lakers are hyped, right? I'm sure LeBron's hyped. I'm sure Russ is hyped. I'm sure all the guys are hyped. Hopefully we can get Reeves and Walker back, which is another thing I forgot to mention, but hopefully we can get Reeves and Walker back relatively soon, because that would be huge. Then we can kind of, again, because those are two guys that can come in and give you 15 a night, which we need. And so if we can get there, I'm excited. I'm really looking forward to this. I think this was great news, but Again, I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are. Do you think that a trade gets done with this? Do you think it doesn't? Good, bad, ugly, somewhere in between. Let me know down in the comment section below.